Hello everyone, Scott here again, and welcome, not to Hyperbole, not even to anything numbered. This is just the first episode, I know it's numbered, but first episode of me just reviewing movies. No more Hyperbole. That being numbered is a silly thing, and it also opens it up to be not just the newest releases, but the movies whenever I happen to see them. The main reason for this is I don't see the movies opening night like I used to. Last time I did that was Lego Batman movie. And everything else that I've seen, be it Kong, be it Logan, be it John Wick, it's always been a Tuesday. Or later, in the case of Beauty and the Beast. So, if I was able to do reviews at a normal pace, I'll bring Hyperbole back. For opening night reviews or even screenings, I absolutely would, but I'm not that kind of person in this point where I get to, so you get them when you get them. By the time I make my review, everybody else has already had theirs. So there's no point in Hyperbole. And yes, I know it's Hyperbole, but Hyperbole made it mine. GPC is still its own thing. It's going to be its own episode, its own numbering. That's fine. And not having done it for a bit makes me miss it, so we'll see where that goes. We got to be realistic of things, got to take a break from things, and got to figure things out properly because online reviews is a crazy thing right now. But let's go on with this. I still haven't even put up the one for Kong. That's the last one that I did under the Hyperbole naming. What we have here, though, is Beauty and the Beast. Yes, the 2017 version starring Emma Watson. Now, this is being recorded on its third Sunday. It just lost the weekend to Boss Baby by 2 million, so you never know. That actually could come back and take it, but considering that I plan to see Ghost in the Shell and Power Rangers over the next couple of weeks, and then Fate of the Furious, these things are coming out on time. So, Beauty and the Beast. What to say about that? The original I saw part in art class in grade 9 or 10, and we turned it off after probably 20 minutes, because my art teacher said that it's amazingly great to look at, but boring as all hell. And admittedly, it does take a bit of time to get into it. Excuse me. I had no real problems with it. It's just I like the 70s Robin Hood better. I like Aladdin better. And then the newer ones like Tangled and Wreck-It Ralph, they're better. And that's not me not liking cell animation, the classic style. I love that. But I never cared for Jungle Book. I never cared for Little Mermaid. Even though there's good parts in them and they're fine, watching it doesn't hold up for me. So, Beauty and the Beast. Directed by Bill Condon, starring Emma Watson, Josh Gad. The guy who plays Gaston is also in the Furious movies as Owen Shaw, and I cannot remember his name for the life of me. He's also in Dracula Untold, and that's going to bug me. But Ian McKellen, Ewan McGregor, I just kind of realized the mix in their names. Emma Thompson is a part in it. Kevin Kline. And the Beast, who, it's fine. I saw it with Shauna, who loves the original. She was even trepidatious about seeing this. Because why just make a live-action version? If it's like Jungle Book, okay, or you change things up like Maleficent, cool. But if you're just making it live-action, what are you doing? And that same argument can be thrown at things like Ghost in the Shell, but people want to see a live-action version, so there you go. But the hope is always they'll do something different or do something strange. What happened here is, from my perspective, looked fine. The visuals were great. I thought the effects were fantastic. The Beast looks good, but he looked a bit small sometimes. When he's trying to be intimidating, they made him look really big, but when he's just kind of walking around, he just looks like he's bigger. Still too big, but you know what I mean. And he looked good up until the wolf attack. After that, he had a much more human face. He looked kind of handsome, and that defeats the purpose of him being a beast. It's kind of weird, right? Emma Watson was fine. I heard all the things about her singing being horrible, but I thought it was fine. More on that in a minute. Kevin Kline as the dad is good. The voices for, like, sorry, McKellen McGregor, they were hilarious. Gaston is fantastic as always. I was a little worried about him, but he's a good actor, so he pulled this off great. Josh Gad as LeFou was so goddamn good. He was awesome. And it's... Okay. The thing I've always had an issue with Beauty and the Beast is you see him as a jerk in the initial part as a human, then he becomes the Beast, and that's the character you end up liking and following and wanting to see succeed, because he turns that corner while that. Now I know it's all about what's inside, but when he becomes human again, who's this guy? That's the jerk. That's the association you have. That's a weird thing I've always had with Beauty and the Beast, even though I know it's what's inside that counts. It's the same as when you see a movie like Blade is the best example, where Deacon Frost is the bad guy the whole time through, and then they turned him into this big blood monster, and Blade was going to fight that. But then they realized, no, we want to see this guy get his comeuppance, not this thing that's whatever. So they reworked it so that he's still fighting Deacon Frost, just all blood or whatever. The actor, you want to see that victory at the end. I know people said Van Helsing had a hollow ending because you wanted to see Hugh Jackman fight Steve Broadbent. No, not Broadbent. Jim Broadbent. I forget his name. But you want to see him fight Dracula. And instead you get a werewolf fight. A CGI werewolf fight. Which I thought was fine, but it's like the audience wanted closure of these guys facing off, and they got the characters facing off, but not that. It's a similar payoff here. I want to see the Beast get what he wants. And yeah, he gets it, but he's not the Beast anymore, and that's what I associate with. Just a thing I've had a problem with Beauty and the Beast all along, and it still happens here. Emma Watson singing is apparently real bad. They reworked her singing, from what Shauna was saying, to accommodate her range for the music, which is impressive in its own regard, but... Yeah, right, okay. So I that's fair. That's understandable. And a few other songs did that too. They added a couple songs which really felt weird. Like, they gave their all singing them, but they were still odd in there. Like, I guess that goes to the overall thing. They were doing such a close adaptation with some of the shots even, the outfits, the look. Like, this was very much just a live-action version. And yet, they changed where her house was. They altered some songs, they added some songs, they changed some things around. If you're going to make an adaptation that close, why change things? That's always the argument, right? But this one literally is Disney making Disney's live-action version of Disney's animated Beauty and the Beast. Why did you change that? It just, that seems really odd of a decision. Either go all out and go all in, or deviate more. Is generally what people wanted. But it's a huge moneymaker. People obviously just wanted a live-action version, and they got it, so there you go. But it felt a little odd once I learned that. Otherwise, I had no problem with it. Some decisions seemed odd, but that's because I guess they weren't the same and they stuck out. Now, the Beast, I have no idea who that actor is, but his voice as the Beast was amazing. It was really, really good. That stood out for me. That was a highlight, along with Josh Gad as LeFou. There were little touches added to the Gaston song he did that were really great. Fun stuff. And again, the visuals were great. The effects were good. The action was great. Gaston is fantastic. And overall, I enjoyed it. And I do want to start actually doing ratings, because we always talk afterwards, what would you give it? And for this kind of movie, it doesn't quite make an 8. I enjoyed myself. And I could see watching it again even, just because it was a fun watch. But I still don't think it goes above a 7 or a 7.5. Now, for me, most movies start with a 10, and then they lose points. That's kind of how I am with things. Like, what did you do wrong, and what earned things back? What this movie did wrong was... It felt a little haphazard, where an animated movie can get away with it. This one didn't. Like, suddenly, oh, she's been cleaning things up nicely, so we're going to have a dance in the ballroom. Like, what? Hold on. That just seems like you want to do that to get the dance in the ballroom. Like, that it didn't ring true. Things like that happen, but when you're adapting something, there you go. And if you change things, there you go. But I thought everything was fine. The designs were good. They're actually really cool looking everything. End credits were fun too, even just the way they had like the cast with the name and like the movement in it was good. The 3D was fine. The movie was funny. The Beast looked great, but he was too handsome. Like I said, he looked like she was falling in love with him too, not just the heart. Like she could actually be like, I can make this work. Is how she seemed to be going about it. So, but anyway, Beauty and the Beast. It is a fun movie. I probably would end up getting it on disc eventually. It's one where if it was a cheapo, I would pick it up, absolutely. It's not a day-and-date purchase, but there's enough in there that I like that I could watch it again, absolutely. And just the special features, I'm curious to see, like the decision-making and the behind-the-scenes of this thing, like how that went. I'd be really curious to see. But that's that. Thank you for watching. This is, like I said, just Scott Reviews Movies. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but probably something like that. Do check out everything else on Cyclops Scott here on Guilty Pleasure Cinema. Cyclops Scott on YouTube, and all the Facebooks and Twitters, Guilty Pleasure Cinema as well, and just Scott Somerton in general. Also check out Jabba Radio. That is a YouTube channel now. It's on iTunes also. I am a contributor there. We did our WrestleMania predictions. That's tonight, so this will be afterwards, obviously, when you see it, but we do a lot of discussions there, and I'm working on a special show for that, too. Turning Heels, one I did with John Rhodes. It's more just predictions are on there right now, but you never know. And, of course, GPC. I keep saying it every time, but it is coming, but I'm not forcing anything with that because it's all pure hobby. There's no anything in this. If there's a corner turned, but otherwise, who knows. But that's that. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.